In the age before the Olympian gods ruled the sky, the cosmos was under the iron-fisted dominion of the Titans. Chief among them was Cronus, the youngest and most formidable of the children born to the primordial deities, Uranus, sky, and Gaia, earth. He had risen to power through an act of brutal rebellion, using a sickle forged by his mother to overthrow and castrate his tyrannical father. This betrayal brought peace, but it also sowed the seed of an inescapable fear in his own heart. As the new sovereign of the universe, Cronus married his sister, Rhea, a gentle and beautiful Titaness who personified the flow of time and motherhood. The union was meant to solidify the golden age of the Titans, yet their first joyous moments were poisoned by the echo of the past. Before his final descent into Tartarus, Uranus had issued a dire prophecy to his usurper: "Just as you overthrew your father, so too shall one of your own children rise to depose you." This prophecy was a venom that seeped into Cronus's mind, twisting his authority into an obsessive, paralyzing paranoia. The vastness of his kingdom, the sheer, unimaginable power he wielded, suddenly felt precarious, balanced on the frail promise of an unborn son. The memory of the bloody sickle in his own hand became a mirror, reflecting his potential downfall. The cycle of horror. When Rhea gave birth to their first daughter, Hestia, Cronus's fear manifested as monstrous certainty. He did not celebrate. He did not hold the infant. Instead, he seized the newborn from Rhea's arms and, with a terrifying, primal act, swallowed her whole. He believed that by consuming his children, he would secure them inside him, forever neutralizing the threat they posed. Rhea was shattered. She was the mother of life, yet her children were being entombed, still living, within the belly of their own father. The next year brought Demeter, the second daughter, and the horrific ritual was repeated. Then came Hera, then the sons Hades and Poseidon. 5 times, Rhea endured the agony of childbirth, only to witness Cronus's madness claim her offspring. With each act, Cronus became more withdrawn, his eyes wilder, his grip on Rhea tighter, convinced he was a tactical genius outwitting destiny itself, when in reality he was merely a vessel for his own terror. He was the devouring father, a god consuming the future out of fear of the past. Rhea, pale with grief and rage, knew she could not continue this cycle. When she found herself pregnant for the 6th time, she went to her mother, Gaia, weeping and begging for a plan to save this last child from the Titans' cannibalistic tyranny. The birth of Zeus and the stone. Gaia, with the wisdom of the earth itself, devised a scheme. She helped Rhea travel in secret to the island of Crete, a hidden, lush sanctuary. There, in a deep, dark cave on Mount Dicta, Rhea gave birth to her 6th child, a son named Zeus. With the infant safe, Rhea returned to Cronus's palace. When the paranoid father demanded to see the newborn, Rhea presented him with a swaddling cloth tightly wrapped around a massive stone. "Here is the child of prophecy," she whispered, her face a mask of exhaustion. Cronus, whose mind was now a labyrinth of fear, did not look closely. He felt the weight of the bundle, perhaps sensing the future contained within, and with a guttural roar of relief and triumph, he swallowed the stone whole. It was a dense, cold replacement for the warm, living heart of a child, but it was enough to satisfy his terror. He finally believed the prophecy was averted, and he settled into a false sense of eternal security. The rebellion and release. Zeus was raised in secret on Crete, nurtured by nymphs and protected by the chorets, armored warrior dances whose clashing shields drowned out the baby's cries, preventing Cronus from hearing the sound of his growing enemy. When Zeus came of age, his power was magnificent. He left his refuge and returned to the kingdom of the Titans, not with a blade, but with a cunning plan given to him by the wise Titaness Metis. Disguised as a cupbearer, Zeus offered his father a magnificent drink, secretly laced with a potent emetic. Cronus, suspecting nothing from the loyal servant, drank deeply. The potion worked violently. With agonizing spasms, Cronus first vomited up the stone he had swallowed, and then, in reverse order of consumption, he disgorged his 5 older children, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia. They had spent their entire lives in the dark confines of their father's stomach, but as gods, they emerged fully grown, eternally young, and bursting with fury. They stood beside the youngest brother, Zeus, a formidable council of 6 sibling deities united by a shared, traumatic imprisonment. Cronus, now stripped of his supposed protection, stood face to face with the very future he had desperately tried to consume. The war that followed, known as the Titanomachy, was a cataclysmic 10-year struggle between the young Olympians and the old Titans. Ultimately, the children, led by Zeus, prevailed. Cronus, the father consumed by fear and paranoia, was finally and utterly defeated. He was cast down, along with most of the Titans, into the deepest abyss of the underworld, Tartarus, where he would forever remain entombed, a captive of the very fear he had embodied. The age of the Olympian gods had begun, forged from a family's nightmare and the brutal lessons of usurped power.